All right, let's do the first one. Let's turn this D into something like that, become big. Okay, let's go to our D and scroll up here. So in order for us to go from one state to another state, we need to use these two features. First of all, I'm going to click a plus here. So what we want to do is to transform from base state into the first state. Base state is the beginning, which is this shape. And then we click here. Then now we need to change certain things. So how it works is, for example, let's say on the next state, I rotate something like this. Yeah, maybe like that. We need to add an event. So click here, event, and then maybe on mouse hover. So on mouse hover, it will go from this object D, it will go from the base state into this state. So these two. Okay, now let's check. If you click here, see if I hover, it will turn into that state. If I hover out, it will go back to original. At the moment, it's slow. So I'm going to turn off this, close this. It's slow because there's this duration. At the moment, it's transitioning within 1 second. If you want to make it like really fast, when you hover immediately change, you need to reduce this number, maybe to 0.3 for example. And then let's check again. See, now it's much faster. If you want to even faster, like on my example, I think I use something like 0.03. It's super fast, almost like none. So see, if you go like this, it will go immediately. Yeah, so that is kind of like what we want, but we don't really want it to rotate. So basically what it can change from the original state to whatever state that you set on this one. If you want it to be rotating, you can rotate. If you want to move, you can move the position. If you want to scale, you can make it big. I will reset the rotation because I don't want it to rotate. So I will zero out the rotation. And what I really want to do is to make it inflate. And the way I inflate it is actually by using a few things. One is you can enlarge this scale. This will edit the mesh, like for example, oops. If I rotate, you can see that it's actually becoming longer on Z-axis. If I make it like this, it will make it longer on Y-axis. Maybe we don't want it too much, maybe just like this. This is just to enhance, and then we will enhance the displace. So I will increase this. Maybe something like that. But I want to reduce the scale. Increase this number maybe to a big number like 200. Yeah, actually this this looks interesting. It's not exactly the what I'm expecting here, the smooth one, but I think it's more to the other one. Yeah, actually this looks interesting as well. You can play around with the number here. I think actually I want to make it okay, this is more like it. Yeah, that's more like it. Maybe we reduce this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one that turn it into like a very smooth balloon. Okay, so so for this letter, on the base state is like this, and then on the hover state is like that. Let's test it out. Okay, cool, it's working. Okay, let's do the second one. The second one I think is this. But essentially, actually what I did is the similar technique. So let's just go to this one, and then we create a state, the next state, and we create an event. On mouse hover, this letter O will go to this state. The duration of changing will be very little, like maybe 0.03. What we want to do is to increase the size, or maybe we go, oh, this doesn't have a displacement at the moment. Let's add a displace. Let's increase the size to 200. This looks pretty cool actually. And if you see, if you want to smooth out this, this looks like a very sharp, right? If you increase this geometry, actually it will smooth out. Let's tone it down first. Actually, this looks better, I think. Yeah. So again, back to this subdivision level. If you keep it at lower number, it will become very sharp. But when you increase it, it will smooth out all the edges. But again, the more number you put, the smoother it gets. But also the heavier your scene is. I usually don't go more than this. Let's just keep it 4 for now. It looks pretty okay already. Yeah, so let's go back here and check our state, base state. On the base state, I think I don't want it to have the displacement, so let's turn this down to 1 or 0 even. Yeah, so it's smooth at the beginning, and when we go to the next state, it becomes like this. And let's also increase the size. Okay, this is pretty cool. Okay, let's check the interaction whether it works. Yep. Let's play with the changing color as well. So if you see everything here that I changed when we hover, actually the color also changed. Let's do that to the letter P. Okay, let's create a state again, and then create a hover, mouse hover as well. So object P, and then go to this state. I'm going to also add a displace. And okay, let's the same thing at the beginning. I just actually it looks okay. Let's go to the state and then increase this number to something big like this, and okay, this purlin looks quite cool. Let's change the color. So it's the same thing on this state. Make sure you are on the state, not on the base state, and then you can change the color to something else. Oh, this looks cool. Okay. Yep, I guess that will do. Let's test it out. Go to the play. Oh, it looks cool. Okay. Yeah, and if you see, this is quite slow because we forgot to change just now the timing, but actually it looks kind of fun. Yeah, so let's keep it this way. Okay. Yep. I think you get the drift how to do it on this each of the changing state to this one. Another thing that I want to show you guys is this. So if you see, when I move my mouse around like this, actually all the letters are kind of like facing the direction of my mouse. So let's do that. Before I do that, actually I want to reset all the anchor point to the middle, because if you see here, all the rotation when we move around like this is all kind of like a centered around the object, in the middle of the object, while our anchor point mostly is like this one is center, this one is not at the bottom. So if you imagine, it will turn, it will actually rotate not from the middle, and that, see, it will rotate like this. I want them to rotate from the middle. So the way for us to reset this anchor point is a bit strange here in Spline tool. You need to kind of like group them first. So this letter, for example, I will Command G to group it, and when you group this letter, it will become inside of this null object, and this null object will have a center point in the middle. So this is what you want to do with the rest. The O, I think, is good because it's already in the middle. Let's do on the P, Command G. Oops. Okay, this is interesting. You can change this by, oh, okay, let me undo that. I think that's because of, let's go back to our initial state. Oh, let's check first whether things, oh yeah, it goes crazy. See, okay, what happened was, okay, let's undo this. This is a good example of a screw up, because I changed the anchor point of this when we are on the hover state. That's why this happened. Let's actually undo that. Undo everything. Okay, and then we check again. Okay, everything seems good. Go back to this D. So before we actually go group them, you need to make sure that you are in base state, not in this state. Come here, and then you group, and then now let's check. Oh, actually it still happened. Interesting. Let's troubleshoot. Yeah, somehow the location is like resetted here, so I think we should just copy this location. Oops, just to make sure. I don't know whether we can do this. Let's just copy this and then paste one by one. Copy, paste, copy, paste. All right, let's check. Yeah, okay, it's good now. Yeah, so I'm not sure what happened, but you can always reset your position like this. Okay, so this is good. So in this one, go back to base state and then Command G. Let's check whether everything, this is also, I think the best way is before we even apply those state, you should actually group them first, but it's too late now. So what we can do is just, again, we just copy paste all this location. This is 0, this is, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so this is good. P, okay. So to test that theory, actually let's do this last one, the E. Let's group this first before we even have a state. So let me group it. Call this E. P. This is D. Okay, and then I will add state to this. State, and then I will add event on mouse hover. this object E will go to this state, and then on the next state, let's increase this displacement to 200. Oh, this is cool. Okay, let's test whether everything is okay. Yeah, see, this is okay because we group it first before we even add the state. So that's what you should do for the rest actually. Okay, I want to make it fast, 0.03. Okay. Yep. Cool. Okay, let's go back to the this interaction. Looking at on this letter E, on the null object, not on this E itself, but on the group, I want to add event, and this event is look at. So if I play now, you see that my letter actually will look at wherever my mouse is. Yeah, so that's what I did with that my website here. Let's apply to the rest and you will have a same effect. Okay, let's close this and then go to O. It's the same thing. Add one more event here. The type of event is look at, and then go to P, add event, and the event will be look at, and the last one is letter D, add an event, look at, and let's check. See, now everything is like exactly like that, and you can always rotate here as well. Actually, that is almost everything. The next thing I think is the sound. Let's add sound when it hover. So on our D, I'm going to add event, and the type of event, if we scroll down here, type of event will be play sound. Unfortunately, at the moment, the sound only play on mouse down, while actually what we need is when we hover. But maybe in the future they will add this feature. But what we can do now is, so if we click on this four dots, actually the Spline tool has a library of sound that you can use. It's up to you whether you can also play this first. So you can choose from here, or you can also upload your own. On my case, I will upload my own audio. So I have this sound effect that I already prepared, like this one. I will add this here, and you can also adjust the volume of this audio up to your preferences. I will just keep it 5 at the moment, and yeah, let's test it. So if I click here, so this is not hover because we don't have the hover interaction for the sound yet. But if I click here, you can hear that it's actually activating the sound. And yeah, so that is what I did with the sound interaction. Alright, so we got all the interaction working. The next step is actually how can we embed this into our own website. I'm going to show you how to do it in Adobe Portfolio and also Webflow. So okay, let's come here. And this is our interaction. What you need to do is actually to click on this export, and it will actually generate a public URL or embed code for you. There are certain things that you can adjust here. So for example, if you don't have the paid version of a Spline tool, actually you will see a logo of Spline tool here. If you don't want to have that logo, you need to pay for the subscription. On my case, I already paid for it, so you don't see a logo anymore. And then there's certain things that you can also set here. For example, whether you want to enable orbiting or pan around, zooming, or the soft orbit when you embed this. So for example, at the moment we have everything click yes. So if I come here, so I can orbit like this, or I can also hold command and middle mouse to zoom in and zoom out. I can also use the middle mouse button to pan this around. If you don't want to have that option, sometimes maybe you don't want the user to just too freely navigate around, you can always turn it off. Like for example, this pen, turn off the zooming. Maybe you don't want them to be able to zoom. And if we do this, now I'm pressing my middle mouse button, but I cannot pan. My spacebar cannot pan, and I also cannot zoom. Yeah, so this is really up to you. On my case, yes, let's just do this. And you just want to copy this embed code. Copy, and then let's go to Adobe Portfolio first. So this is my Adobe Portfolio. Let me just create a dummy site. I just want to create a welcome page, so I just click this. Yeah, let's use any of this. It doesn't really matter because we will delete everything. So I'm going to start with this. I'm just gonna delete everything. Delete text. Delete this button. Delete social icon. Okay, I only want to have embed here. So if I click here, embed, I can just paste our code here and then save embed. And then you can see that it's by default is giving us like this strange thing. Actually, the embedding in Adobe Portfolio is not that great. We need to add a little bit in our code here. So we need to type. If you see right after iframe, I'm going to type width equal open bracket 100%, and then spacebar height equals to 100%, spacebar. Yeah, if I click save embed, you will see that it's still looking the same because we need to define the height. So I need to change this into something like maybe 800 pixel, and then let's see. Okay, so you see this here. See, this is what I mean by the logo. So if you don't have the paid version, you will see this. But once you pay, this logo you can remove, or you can, up to you, you can remove it or you can maintain it. Yeah, but now you see once we change this height into 800 pixel, then you will have something like this. Okay, let's say you don't want to have this background because maybe you have your own background from your own website. So for example, let's create a background color, and I don't know, maybe change it to something like this. Yeah, maybe you want your background color like this, and then you don't want this color. You can always go back to this and then go to this export again, and then this background color you hide, update it, copy this embed code, and then go back to this, go to this embed, and then edit embed code. I will actually just erase the bottom, paste, and then remove this iframe, so we have the similar code. Then save embed. See, now it's working. So you have a background from the website itself. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to Webflow. So this is Webflow. Let's add a section, and then let's add a div block, and then inside this div block let's add an embed. Go down here, embed, and the same thing, you can just paste the code and then save and close, and you will see something like this. It's the same thing. It will by default is giving you this cropping. Let's go to this embed, and then on Webflow it's more flexible, so you can change this height into something like a viewport height, for example. Then it will utilize the whole viewport height. On our case, maybe this is wrong. Maybe I just want it to be 70% of viewport height. Then we can have something like this. And then when we go here to see, then everything is working. Yeah. Another thing to note is Webflow embedding enable you to hear the audio, but the Adobe Portfolio doesn't give you that audio. I'm not sure why, but if you guys know, maybe you can let me know. Alright, so that's the whole tutorial. If you guys find this tutorial helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I also have a bunch of other tutorials on Skillshare. So if you guys use my referral link in the description, you can have a 1-month membership for free, and you can check out a bunch of other tutorials there. There's a lot of cool stuff there. And at the moment, mostly are motion design tutorials. But in the future, maybe I will do a bunch of other software, maybe like a Spline tool or Webflow or 3D or some other stuff. Cool. See you guys next time. Bye.